Akambo, I don't send the feed. Check for which signature go on here. Which signature call you for go on here. I don't set sign up.
Representative from the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. Representative from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation is not any longer, so Ministry of Health. Sanitation have been cut short now. Representative from the Ministry of Local Government. Representative from Sierra Leone Red Cross Society. Representative from the Office of National Security. High table. We will now add to the high table our former CVO, Mohamed Eba. Representative of the Minister of Agri, the Permanent Secretary of the Minister. Colleagues, can we occupy the front row seat, please? Okay. Environment, we are not. Representative from the Director General of Ministry of Agri. you so much. We may now start the program. We would like a volunteer to lead us in Muslim and Christian prayer so that we employ the presence of God in our midst before we start the program. Can we have a volunteer who can lead us Christian? Okay, John.
Let's stand up and let's in Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for your mercies that endures in our midst. Thank you for this day. You said you create and we shall rejoice in it. Thank you for such a wonderful moment. Unto you we come with this program. We pray that your presence comes into, come against every plan and plot of the enemy. We sanctify this place with your blood, with your power. Whatever discussion we discuss here today will be of essence and will continue to yield that impact in the fight against rabies in our country. Thank you. Take all the glory in Jesus' name.
Amen. Muslim? Any imam, sheikh? Any? Yes. Thank you so much, my brother, for our brothers for leading us in Christian and Muslim prayer. Okay, thank you so much. We now move to the next item of the agenda, which is the welcome address by the representation of the Permanent Secretary.
Good morning, all. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, Deputy Ministers, Permanent Secretary and top management of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, I want to heartily welcome you all to this auspicious occasion. One thing I always like to emphasize is that health always comes first. So anything that has to do with health, we must take it very seriously and ensure that whatever that we need to do to make sure that the program succeeds, we must do. So today, it is a pleasure to receive you all to celebrate the World Rabies Day. Pretty soon, we will get data, information on what rabies is and what has been done to prevent it, what are the steps taken to make sure that our community and people are safe. So again, I welcome you to this wonderful celebration, and I believe we will all learn and get a fruitful time here this morning. Thank you very much for coming, and wish you a pleasant.
Thank you so much, our ministry representative from the top management. We now call on the person who will be chairing this program. He's not as a person, but the representation of our Director General, Geneva Razin. She will be the one chairing this World Rabies Day 2023 commemoration. So I now hand over the mic to Geneva to take the head of the ship, which will lead us to the rabies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leno. I join the top management to welcome you all to this global celebration, and we are happy for Sierra Leone to be part of this celebration. As Mr. Leno has said, I am representing the Chief Agriculture Officer of the Ministry, and I want to assure you that I will hold this chair according to your wishes, and we will all land safely. So, as chairman also, I see the chairman's opening remarks. In the remarks now, we are celebrating World Rabies Day. We know it's a virus. It's a virus that affects animals and humans. Then we also know that over 98% of human infection is caused by dog bites. We all know that rabies is caused by dog bites. Then we also know that its effect takes place in the host when the virus travels by the central nervous system to the brain. Then it also replicates when it reaches the brain. Then rabies, 100% can be prevalent through vaccination of the dogs. But once the signs and symptoms are manifested, it cannot be cured. And in our local language, what do we know? Well body, na gentry. So it means one health. We should be concerned about the health of the animal and that of the health of the human. Because otherwise, one will efface. If the human don't efface, the animal will efface. And we need to cohabit in this world. Then we also know that rabies is also a zoonotic disease, meaning its transmission from animals to human. All mammals, that is animals that breastfeed their youngs, get rabies, except chicken, snakes, reptiles, fish. But we do not have to blame the dogs, because dogs on their own to contract the virus through wild. So in order for us, they are not born with the virus. So in order for us not to blame dog, we need to find a cure and prevention. So the global effect, over 59,000 to 60,000 people are infected globally, especially among children aged 0 to 15 years. The above deaths occur mostly in Africa and Asia. And as Sierra Leone, we find ourselves in the West African part. So it's a concern for us, it's a concern for our country, it's a concern for the ministry, it's a concern for the nation. So if we are here today celebrating this day, we need to take the necessary caution, the necessary preventive measure in order to curtail the death rate as mentioned globally in the global effect for rabies. So on that note, I wish we all a fruitful stay here and hope the statement here will be very meaningful to us. I thank you for your attention. And on the next agenda, we have introduction of I-table and other key dignitaries by the WRD 2023 committee, Mr. S. Bar. Over to you, Mr. S. Bar. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I have a very simple task here today, but it's very complicated because introducing the most important people that say good is task that is not an easy task. But I will try to do my best. I will start from the far end here, from my right end, coming this way. On my far right, we have Mohammed A. Kamara, representing Environment Protection Agency, and he is a manager in charge of chemical control and management. Next to him is Usman Justin Conte, representing the Sierra Leone Red Cross. He is the project manager for the CP3 project, as one of our partners who supported this year's World Revisiting activity. Next to him is a veteran, a vet, a household name also. And for his introduction, I'm just doing it because it's a task, but I hope as far as this gathering is concerned, Ravis is a household name. Is no less a person but Alhaji Dr. Abdul Kudus Jallo is representing the National Rabies Control Task Force, and also is the executive director of SLAUS, Sierra Leone Welfare Society. Next to him is one of our great supporters. They've been with us under rain, under sun, and they are always with us. This is Mr. James S. Fofana, the Chief of Party Breakthrough Action. Next to him is the center pillar of what we are here doing, the One Health platform, the environment, animal, human health, and is the dynamic, effective, efficient national technical coordinator, Mr. Joseph Bunting Grebe. Of course, next to him is also one of our biggest supporters, and if we are here today, they made it possible, and is here representing the ECTA team, is the ECTA team lead of the Food and Agricultural Organization. He is Dr. Benson. Next to him is the representative of the Permanent Secretary and representative of the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. So it's one stone thrown into that. He's here representing the PS, the Senior Permanent Secretary, and the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Fitz Allo. So it's no less a person that can be. Next to him is, of course, our Honorable Chair, Madam Chair. You've heard her, the brilliant introduction she just gave, and I believe all of us can treat really seriously from what we heard from her. Is Madam Geneva, representing the Chief Agriculture Officer of the Ministry of Agriculture. Next to him is our just outgoing dynamic director of the Livestock and Veterinary Services Division of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Is no less a person but Mr. Mohamed Al-Fatah. Then next, we have a representative of the World Health Organization Emergency Response Officer, is Victor Kuta. And we are here. We cannot be here if the country is not stable. We cannot be here if the country is not peaceful. So we are here in our midst with representative from the Office of National Security, ONS. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much for the role you have played. I think we are now comfortable. We have known now the high level of profile people seated here for this occasion, for this auspicious occasion today in celebrating the World Rabies Day. So from the introduction, we'll hear the preventive messages. Next on the agenda is the statement from the One Health Technical Coordinator. That's Mr. Joseph Bontin Grady. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Chairman and representative of the Honorable Minister, and all protocols observed. I am happy to join this galaxy of representatives of institutions across the One Health sectors to commemorate this World Rabies Day. This is a day that is recognized across the world, and Sierra Leone is joining all the countries that consider rabies as a threat. We are not just gathered here just in the name of gathering. This gathering yearly sends a message. And so, our numbers in our gathering is not the message. The message that we'll be sending today in our country and the world over will be taken from each one of us represented here, emphasizing specifically their areas of interest, but communicating the same threat that we have in our country. Rabies, from the One Health perspective, we have prioritized it as one of our zoonotic diseases of interest, and a major one. Major in the sense, today as I speak, we have not fully assessed the burden of rabies in Sierra Leone, which is a big challenge to any country, because for the security people, you know, if you cannot assess the threat properly, then you cannot prepare to counter that threat. So, even at baseline, we're still grappling with data to actually understand how serious the threat is in our country. But of course, science has informed that when you are bitten by a rabid dog, your chances of surviving is slim. Nonetheless, even with that gap as a country, the mechanisms that are in place using the One Health platform are doing their best to raise awareness through the support of our partners who are here with us, at least for the populace to understand that this threat is in the country. And for those who are acquainted with public health dynamics, you can only respond to any threat when you know what the threat is and where the threat is, and with other elements for you to actually put your resources together. But we are still struggling with that. As a platform, I join shoulder to shoulder with all colleagues here from the different line ministries and our partners to press home to our authorities that the threat of rabies is serious in our country. And now that we find ourselves in this platform, we'll continue to hype it, and we continue to call the attention of our authorities at the highest political level to understand that our communities are at risk of rabies. Wednesday after Wednesday, at the Emergency Preparedness and Response meeting, the EPRG meeting at the EOC in Cochrane, we severally receiving information about dog bites and receiving information about rabbit cases in the country. So to tell you that we have cases of rabies in our country. Thank God for our partners like the FAO, at least as a country. We can now identify or diagnose and bring out a confirmatory result to tell you that yes, at this stage, we can now say this is, a rabbit infection or it is not. Before now, it was not. Thank God for the effort of our partners who have been supporting for this effort. Before now, we never had such diagnostic facility, but thank God for FAO for supporting the government of Sierra Leone. We continue to call for more so that much more could be done. And first of all, identifying cases and pulling those who are at risk, protecting communities, and doing all that we can. Breakthrough action, supporting the actions of communication to their communities, even to our local populace, to understand the disease at their level. Because we must transcend this position of communicating just in one language, but in multi-languages that are in country, so that our community people who are at risk most will understand the threats. You all know, and many of us who are here might have dogs in our homes. But if we should ask, how many of us who have dogs and have taken the responsibility to vaccinate those dogs, or had the opportunity through the campaigns when some of the communities or few communities, were targeted at a particular point in time to vaccinate dogs just to protect, the community. But of course, the science provides that effort is not sufficient to actually prevent, the populace from rabies infection. We need to do more. We know it's capital intensive, but nonetheless, the cost of a life is much more important than the resources it takes to prevent our population. Let me conclude by saying that this year-to-year activity is not our goal. This is just a commemoration of the World Rabies Day. All the days that lies ahead from now gives us the opportunity to do more as a country and as a government, to actually understand what the professionals are saying. But the responsibilities also rest with the professionals to package this information in a friendly way, executive-friendly way, so that our political, leaders will understand the threat that we face. So once more, I want to thank the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security who are taking lead in this fight, and all the other stakeholders and our partners who have been joining in supporting them with the resources, at least to demonstrate that even with the little resources that we have, we can still vaccinate dogs. And that means if we have more, we can do more. And so we call all the partners who can support. You might not have mandate with regards to supporting or providing resources in this regard, but life, protecting life is very, very important. So your resources are needed to support efforts to have as many vaccines that we need in country to actually reach a threshold for prevention of the society. That said, I want to thank you for joining us in commemorating this day. But before I conclude, my family has not been a victim of rabies, but there are those whose family might have been a victim of rabies. And from the clip that was shown last year's celebration, you know, it is horrifying to see how somebody who is beaten by a rabid dog dies. I'm not sure any one of us want to identify with that. That said, if there is anyone in this country whose family member has suffered such, who might have the opportunity to even, you know, see us commemorating this day, we want to join them and sympathize, you know, for their loss at any point in time if they have suffered, you know, this dangerous, you know, harm. So I want us to observe a moment of silence for any citizen of our country whom at any point in time might have been beaten by a rabid dog and could not survive because we hadn't the vaccines, or the response was late, or he or she was not even aware that the dog was a rabid dog. Let's observe a moment of silence. May God have mercy upon us, and may God help us. God bless you.
Thank you very much. That's the statement from One Health Technical Coordinator, and from the statement we can understand how we should treat this disease very serious, because there is no data for our country for now, but the prevalence death, Africa is mentioned when we look at the global effect. So also I will join him that we need to get mechanism from the government and our partners in order to develop the data for this disease, so we will be able to know our responses and preparedness. Thank you very much, Mr. Coordinator. Next on the agenda, statement from Breakthrough Action. Before that statement, let me go back. Do we have the CMO here? Doctor? No. Okay, that's fine. So we have the statement now from Breakthrough Action. That's the Chief of Party.
Okay, Madam Chair, the High Table, all due protocols observed. Good morning, all. I like the way you emphasize Chief of Party. When people call that name, don't mind, it's a title. I'm often in the position to explain to people it's a title. It's like a country, not a political party, it's like a country. Alright, okay. Yes, I mean, the stories around rabies and the fight to eliminate rabies in Sierra Leone
those stories will not end now. And the reason being is rabies is a serious matter in this country. And if we don't have the data, we don't have the evidence, to show how serious this issue is in the country, to me that's the number one challenge. Because for you to tackle a problem, as a programmer, we are often told and we are taught in our various platforms that you have to understand the issue and you have to understand the severity of the issue and how that issue affects the society where you live in such ways that will enable you to come up with practical solutions, to tackle the problem. Having said that, I don't know, we have done a lot as a nation and as partners and as a government, to tackle rabies. And I was talking to one of my colleagues this morning, in retrospect, basically talking about the efforts and fight that has been directed towards eliminating rabies in Sierra Leone. And there's a lot already been done. But the challenge is big. And the challenge cannot be handled by one institution, by one entity, by one partner. It requires collaboration. It requires us all to come together. And reflecting back on the validation of the One Health Governance Manual, 3 terms came up that are really very strong. And those terms are very important in coordinating any fight that has to do with ending a public health threat. Communication, collaboration, and coordination. It's important as fighters, who call ourselves fighters to eliminate rabies, for us to communicate well and with the right audience, to coordinate our efforts in ways that are effective and deliver results, and to collaborate in what we do. Because we do have various strengths in what we do. In breakthrough action, for instance, our strength is in risk communication and social and behavior change. And for this reason, when breakthrough action came to Sierra Leone with funding from USAID, our efforts have been directed towards our areas of strength. And we've done a lot in terms of working with One Health Risk Communication and Community Engagement Technical Working Group, which comprise a lot of partners and MDs in that group. To design a campaign, to implement a campaign, to assess and evaluate the efforts of that campaign, to advocate, and you name it, in the fight against rabies. As I speak, 3 circles of rabies campaign have been implemented by that technical working group under the One Health umbrella. And I think they will do a presentation to this body to just see the efforts that they have directed towards raising awareness and making sure, the public in general, Sierra Leone, knows about rabies, understands dog bites and the implication it could have on the health of the Sierra Leonean population. So those updates will definitely share with all of you, and you'll see the level of effort that has been directed towards that. But I would say, in all of those efforts, and this is my experience in really directing my efforts and the efforts of our organization and the technical working group for risk communication towards the awareness raising, is you build the knowledge, you improve attitudes and behaviors. But when it comes to accessing the human rabies vaccine in particular, there is a challenge. It's like you meet somebody and say, if you're bitten by a dog, you can go to clinic A and you can access a they call it a PEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis vaccine or post-exposure one. And the person goes to that place and there is either no vaccine or it's slightly expensive or it ends up being expired. We've seen cases, I think 1 or 2 cases, I don't know if it was last year, where a 7-year-old girl was bitten by a dog, and then they did all the right step, went to access the vaccine, but eventually died because the vaccine was expired. So these are the practical issues that we face as a nation, in the fight against rabies. So it requires us all to use all of our, strengths in the areas where we think we're strong. If you are a partner that is there to import both animal or human rabies vaccines, that's your part. You do your part in the fight against rabies. If you're into communication, you contribute to awareness raising. If you're into advocacy for more of the commodities that are required to fight rabies, you do that. So we all need to combine our efforts, to fight this battle. And this battle, our focus is all on perhaps looking at domestic animals, dogs. We've not even looked at the wildlife, the severity of rabies in wildlife. We don't know, but the experts are on the table. Maybe we'll talk about it. FAO is here, we have Dr. Goodrich, they are the experts. So we have a problem. Basically, that's what I would say. We have a problem. And that problem cannot be fought by one person, one institution, one government. It's a collective effort. And that's why I like the theme of this year's celebration. All for one health for all. We all have to come together. We have to be on board this fight as one in order to be able to make the result that are significant enough to eliminate rabies. Having said that, I just want to thank you all for patience and time. And let's continue to look forward to the presentations, the technical presentations that were presented, and we'll all learn from that and go back to our offices, our organizations, and our MDs to reflect on all of these and do what you can in your own little corner to contribute towards the fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The chief of party has spoken, and he spoke really as the chief of party because the other partners who have to be in this party has been raised awareness about them. So it's like what we are expecting, a combined effort. He mentioned coordination, collaboration, communication, the right audience, then the campaign. Having done all those, then the vaccine, if it is available in the clinic, it is costly and it will be there and expire, while maybe people will be dying. So all the parties connected need to do their needful in order for us to prevent this disease. So thank you, Mr. Party. The name party, chief of party, you display it. So at the end of the day, he also said when we go back to our offices, we should reflect. And that reflection will give us the synergy to move ahead. Next on the program is the statement from the WHO country representative.
Madam Chair, colleagues on the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning. I bring you greetings from our rep, Dr. Innocent Bright, who is also attending a very important meeting this morning, that is launching of the Personnel Development Plan at EOC. However, WHO acknowledged the government's efforts and the support given by the essential partners in improving the understanding and benefits, including opportunities for a One Health approach in fighting rabies. Rabies, we all know, is a vaccine-preventable disease which occurs in more than 150 countries. It causes tens of thousands of deaths every year, mainly in Asia and Africa. And as rightly said by the chairperson, 40% of those deaths are children under 5 years of age, under 15 years of age. Dogs are the main source of human rabies, death contributing to about 99% of all rabies transmissions to humans. Rabies can be prevented through vaccination of dogs and prevention of dog bites. Globally, rabies causes an estimated cost of $8.6 billion per year. So that's a huge burden. Therefore, a One Health approach assures the engagement of multiple sectors and local communities to build awareness and conduct mass dog vaccination campaigns. There are efforts currently directed at the elimination of rabies, human rabies to be specific, by the year 2030. In Sierra Leone, far back in the early 50s, 1951, a case of rabies was confirmed in this country. Since then, clinical cases have been reported in health facilities, and because of that, WHO supported the Ministry of Health in one of our stakeholders' engagements. That is when we are looking at adapting the third edition IDSA technical guideline to at least capture dog bites as a proxy for rabies. I am happy the technical coordinator said data is very, very important. And I believe those presentations made weekly has created some concern among stakeholders that something has to be done for the prevention of rabies. Sierra Leone, like many other countries in Africa and Asia, are challenged with policy on dog ownership and limited access to vaccines. However, as we commemorate today with the theme rabies, all for one health for all, we must employ a multidisciplinary approach to implement proven interventions and the implementation of the recommendations made by stakeholders in Rome 2 years ago. Celebrating this day is important, but there are things we should do so that at least we can reduce the burden of rabies in this country. In that particular meeting, it was a big meeting. We agreed that bylaws at community level must be strengthened and implemented, especially in controlling stray dogs. Stray dog management must be strengthened. The lab in Makeni, the animal lab, should be strengthened. Communication, social and behavioral change should also be strengthened. And we should decentralize One Health in all districts, build the capacity of both human and animals workforce, strengthening reporting and surveillance, provision of vaccines for both human and animals. Lastly, research. In providing vaccines for humans, for the past 2 weeks, the NTD wing of the Ministry of Health and WHO have had series of online engagements with our Afro counterparts, that's our headquarters in Brazzaville, to see how they can facilitate the process of making sure that we have human vaccines in this country. So I'm glad to say that that's something ongoing. We hope very soon we can achieve that, so that at least we'll have a reliable source of getting the vaccine when somebody is bitten. It will interest you to note that somebody from my district was bitten by a dog. That individual paid transport and came to Freetown. He was directed at the medical stores. He went there for the vaccine. He paid his money. The vaccine was given to him, not knowing that somebody at the corner there was using vaccines that are fake. At the end of the day, the individual died. So that is a signal that we should take rabies prevention very, very important. Because you can't imagine somebody coming from hundreds of miles away to seek help, good services, and at the end of the day, the wrong service was administered to that particular patient. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I want to join my colleague to urge all of us as partners. Let us make sure that we implement the recommendations that we agreed on some times ago. I believe if we do that, then definitely the future will be bright for this country. I thank you.
Thank you very much, the representative from WHO, World Health Organization, and we are talking here about our health, be it animal or human. And right from the program, the theme, he made mention about the theme for this year, One Health for All, and also admonish the parties, their commitment to the prevention. And also, I think there should be a monitoring mechanism, because how can someone go to the clinic where he or she is expected to get the right treatment and somebody behind there is doing otherwise? And at the end, life, which is so precious, was lost. So I think we need to do so many monitoring. Then also you mentioned the multidisciplinary approach for the prevention, the vaccine, and also the awareness, raising the awareness. And I think WHO very concerned about health, so it's like we need to see the same thing goes, reflection. We need to reflect how we can come up with programs and projects that can speak to all these things we are discussing here today pertaining to the cure, prevention, and awareness messages. Thank you very much, the representative for WHO. And now I will call on the country representative for FAO to make his or her statement.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like, first and foremost, to convey the FAO representative apologies for not being able to participate is due to a very important mission from our regional coordinator for West Africa, which is in the country since Monday, and is having very high-level consultations, and at the moment he is really having very important meeting with the European Union and with the World Bank. So he has requested me to present his speech, and I'm going ready to do so. I will read his speech, and I will say this. Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, or his representative of the Minister of Health and Sanitation, representative of the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Tameto country representative, representative of the United States Agency for International Development, Global Health Security Advisor, Mrs. Dino Spenters Walters, the worship, the Mayor of Freetown City, National One Health Platform, ministries, departments, and agencies. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it gives me great pleasure to be here today to mark the 18th World Rabies Day. This year's theme, All for One Health for All, highlights that One Health is not for a selected few, but for everyone. This theme further emphasizes the importance of equality and strengthening overall health system by ensuring that One Health is something that should be available to everyone. By collaborating and joining forces across sectors, engaging communities, and committing to sustain dog vaccination together as one, we can work towards one goal, to eliminate one disease and to make One Health available to all, using rabies as the example. With the Zero by 30 global strategic plan for the elimination of dog-mediated human rabies death by 2030, we have a shared global goal, and the world has the vaccine, the world has the medicines, the world has the tools, and the world has the technologies to break the cycle of one of the oldest diseases. Together, in unity, we can eliminate rabies, leaving no one behind. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2015, the tripartite, which comprises the World Health Organization, the the World Organization for Animal Health and FAO developed the global strategic plan for the elimination of dog-mediated human rabies deaths by 2030, which aims at achieving zero human deaths linked to canine rabies by 2030. At country level, we do have a national strategy for the eradication of rabies and enhancement of dog population in Sierra Leone for the period 2015 to 2030. We also do have as well a rabies national action plan. These are key documents guiding interventions leading at ensuring that canine rabies is eliminated in the country by 2030. FAO has been actively involved in ensuring that Sierra Leone puts in place relevant strategies and mechanisms for the national control of rabies, and with the support from the USAID under the Global Health Security Agenda and now under the Global Health Security Program. FAO equipped and refurbished a state-of-the-art biosafety Level 2 Central Veterinary Laboratory at Tico, Makini, for testing and confirmation of suspected rabies cases in the country, among other infectious diseases. Through this capacity, CVL has confirmed 28 dog rabies cases from 2020 to 2023, and these from various districts in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, as we heard from WHO, rabies is 100% preventable virus disease, and it is important to note that dogs are the main source of human rabies cases, contributing to 99% of all rabies transmission to humans. According still to WHO, 40% of the people bitten by suspected rabies dog are children under 15 years of age. Given this, I think the time has come for the government of Sierra Leone and also for partners to facilitate the availability of dog and human rabies vaccines in the country to ensure sustained mass vaccination of at least over 70% vaccination coverage of dogs and cats, and to protect humans after exposure to the rabies virus and those at risk. I must say that FAO has continuously supported the government through the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security with dog and human rabies vaccines to commemorate World Rabies Day celebrations. And for this year, I'm rabies vaccines and 150 doses of human rabies vaccines to protect people, frontline animal health workers, and laboratory personnel at the CDL who are mostly at risk due to their occupation. And I can also confirm that yesterday, very late in the evening, we have acquired additional doses of human canine vaccines for the country with syringes, equipment, and so on and so on. I think this morning has been already handed over to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Further, FAO, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, supported mass vaccination of dogs and cats against rabies as part of support toward implementation of the national strategy for the elimination of rabies and enhancement of dog population management in Sierra Leone. These activities were conducted in 2022 countrywide in all the 15 districts. During the exercise, over 4,078 dogs and cats were vaccinated against rabies. We also plan to support mass dog vaccination this year as part of our contribution toward the implementation of the national rabies elimination strategy. We should all keep in mind that rabies is a major barrier to realization of sustainable development goal, and particularly the SDG 3, and also the FAO for veterans that we know all very well, namely better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life. These SDGs and 4 betters aim at ensuring healthy life and promoting well-being of all ages. Therefore, we need to act now to eliminate rabies by the year 2030. Madam Chair, as I conclude, I wish to emphasize that close intersectoral collaboration, it has already been said by Dr. Grady, is vital to eliminate rabies and also to address other shared health threats at the human-animal ecosystem interface. As FAO, we look forward to continuing working closely with the government of Sierra Leone, the partners, to support and sustain rabies elimination activities in the country. Only together we can ensure a safer and healthier future for the people of Sierra Leone and the world. I would like at this juncture to take the opportunity Sierra Leone for its strong partnership and collaboration. I would like also really to take this opportunity to thank the United States government for their funding they have extended to FAO under the Global Health Security Program to support the country to prevent, detect, and respond to public health threats and priority zoonotic diseases. Finally, I want to thank all of you for coming together as we embark on the journey to make Sierra Leone rabies free. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Representative, Council Representative for FAO. FAO is the Food and Agriculture Organization, global, and we acknowledge your support to the ministry. You highlighted so many things, including the Sustainable Development Goal, which we are all working towards. Then you also mentioned about together we can eliminate rabies, leaving no one behind. But at county level, you said there is no national strategy or action plan. So we seated here from the other organization, the ministry, we need to take notes. So in this year's celebration, so much is coming out that we need to take note in order to strategize and plan, put an action on course. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Representative from the FAO. I now call on the representative from the USAID. Council, Okay, we go to the next. The representative from NLAWIC, progress made to date on rabies control. That's statement from Dr. Abdul Qudus Jallow. Yes, sir.
Members of the high table, all of the protocols observed. First of all, I want to continue a question that Mr. Bunting wanted to ask. He asked for, he did not ask us to get results. Normally, I'd like to know, here, I start from the high table, I really want to know how many of us here have dogs at home? How many of them are vaccinated? Then, you people, how many of you have dogs at home? The cats? The cows? Yes, that shows how much we really put in terms of dogs. And we know rabies problem is really not a dog problem. It's a human problem. All the dogs, cats, you see straying are representative of irresponsible pet owners. Are we responsible pet owners here? Yes, some say yes. So cannot say anything because they don't know about dogs. Now I tell you why I entered into rabies. Thanks to Bunting, I entered into rabies because I lost a brother to rabies. And that's why they want me to go into rabies, to the fight against rabies. Now, we say, if you don't look at the welfare, I'm talking now, the good thing here today,
I note that so many of the statements made are not from vets, meaning that we now see how people are concerned about rabies, how they can really present about rabies not being a vet. That's why I'm so happy about that. It shows the concern about rabies and also the awareness. You know, I don't even to go through here because I had some history. So people don't know how we got to where we are. But interestingly, most of the problems have been highlighted. Lack of data, lack of coordination, lack of awareness, working together has been underscored. And I'm very happy with this conference, but I'm very disappointed. The rabies celebration comes once a year on one day, 28 September. I think this day should have been really put aside by all the institutions. The Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Health, the Minister, FAO, the representative, Tobacco, the representative. These are the people who used to attend these conferences. Really, when they are here, when they are present, it makes really a big difference than when they are represented. So I hope that the next 28 September, please take note of it. It's only 28 September, one day a year. Let's be here all together to celebrate it. And also we note that vaccination, we try to eliminate rabies. It has been said, preventable disease. But you know, we say for it to be prevented, we need to vaccinate at least 70 to 75% of the dogs must be vaccinated, and this vaccination has to be done regularly, mostly annually. We've been vaccinating dogs some years ago in response to sporadic outbreaks. This time we are getting support with Mustache FAO and FAO for helping with the provision of vaccines. And what I see, sometimes vaccines are provided. I think there's some other challenge on commitment. Sometimes from government. Sometimes you don't get the full support of all the donors. There can be many pledges. And if we have vaccine, which I know it has happened many years ago, hope that it will not happen again. If we have vaccines, because of field support, these vaccines expire. That's very, very frustrating. And it's happening. We have to really be more and more committed, even at institutional level. We cannot wait always for these allowances. Sometimes they have, if you know what it means to lose somebody from rabies. For those who have seen people die of rabies, they know what it meant. I've seen more than 20 people die of rabies in this country. So we have to work together. The WHO representative mentioned the amount of somebody mentioned the amount of money, they call also some of money that is being spent on rabies. But do you know, we spend so much money in the provision of human rabies, which is more than 10 times expensive than animal rabies. Immunoglobulins, you don't know, they are more expensive. Why that money should have been spent on the prevention of rabies through vaccination? Of course, we need to have those things for emergencies so that we can vaccinate people who are being exposed to rabies. And for the rabies, the One Health platform They're doing very well. And they are the coordinating body. I think we say Salome, we have very good one-health coordination, but we have to be very honest to ourselves. Are we really coordinating well? If you are coordinating well, there shouldn't be any class of activities on this one single day that comes once a year. Ladies and gentlemen, let's first be committed. 4th of October, the World Animal Day. It goes to a week. Of course, now we are trying. We have not fun. And today we are here today because of our intervention at the initial stage to the support the whole animal protection. I remembered in 2000, 2005, and up to where we are today, there have been many changes, many developments, many activities. I note this country, we worked on a strategic plan some years ago together. I remember Breakthrough was there, FAO was there, WHO was there, Ministry of Health was there. We worked on a strategic plan. And recently, last year, they failed a mission to do a strategic plan for Sierra Leone. And that document was available. It has never been popularized. It has never been acted upon. We cannot continue with sporadic vaccination and say 4,000 doses, 10,000 doses a year. It cannot take us much. And we know the dog breeding system. One dog can give us up to 5 puppies, 10 puppies, 15 puppies a year. So how are we going to control it? If the vaccination is not continued, we have to do it regularly and annually. So we really have to work together, and we want to thank the donors, and we want more support from these donors. And something that is lacking, there are 2 key documents. We have been fighting for the past, I can't remember how many years ago, since I was the minister at Tibet. The Animal Disease Act, Animal Welfare and Protection Act, but I cannot call it Act or Bill, whichever the name, I don't know what they carry, but we've never been able to pass them through. We've gone, I think, Dr. Barwick laws, we've got up to cabinet level, but they become only useful when they go to parliament, for which I'm really asking all stakeholders to, if it is to lobby, please help us to lobby. Whatever needs to be done, we need those documents out, because they are the guiding legal documents to work with. If you don't have them, we cannot go further. And we cannot continue working without documents. And we know there are a lot of animal cruelty going. There are people killing dogs, beating them. Some say they are making a mess everywhere, forgetting their rule of security. They're forgetting that they have a very, very big role in the homes for protection. Sometimes, even when we human beings, we keep people, they only remember the bad things we do to them. The good things, we don't remember them. And we know how many unpaid jobs these dogs are doing in terms of protecting our communities. Apart from all the protection, they clean. Somebody will make a mess somewhere, the dog will take it down, okay, I will manage it. So, what are we going to do? This dog, they used to say, dog is man's best friend. Is that really true? Yes. We the dogs are our friends, but are we friends of the dogs? No. And the best security we'll have, the most committed one we'll have, is the dog. And for us, for parents, we know the children spend more time with their pets than their parents. And they are so exposed to rabies from unvaccinated dogs. If you do not have a dog, don't think that you are safe, because your neighbor's dog who is not vaccinated can come and visit you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to greet each and every one of us here who are talking and pleading on the individual commitment to this work, this fight we are on. You see, we have all this challenge. I remember talking with Fountain and so many people. People continue to say, yes, vaccinating 70-75% eliminate rabies. What of the continuous breeding of these dogs? What are we going to do? So to me, it's not only vaccination, it's also dog population humane. Let me put it on the score there. Humane dog population management. If that is done, surely we'll solve those problems. I'm happy that FAO reps say we are having rabies vaccine, human rabies vaccine too. But for most of us here, we see we don't have dogs, but our neighborhoods have dogs. Please take the message that we need to vaccinate the dogs. And somebody will say they don't know about rabies. I mean, there has been a lot of singing, dancing about rabies in the radio to the Minister of Health, Minister of Agriculture, Information Net. I've been singing it always. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to join everybody to thank you for coming. And please, next year, let's not have empty chairs. I see so many empty chairs. And please, those who are representing organizations, please tell their representatives to put from today, next year, September 28th is World Rabies Day. Let's be committed to address to keep that day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Quddus Jallow, for that your statement. And you mentioned about the Act, the Animal Welfare Act. I think that will be considered, because I can remember in one management meeting, the minister was asking to submit outstanding policies they are working on, the ministry is working on, to take to cabinet. Then also, I think we should also toe the line with you. You mentioned about tackling the prevention from where it is coming. We should do some sort of management to the dogs, their population, because it's from the dog that it is transferred to the human. When the dog bites, then the human catch it. So it's like we need to do more on the dog population so we can prevent and eliminate this disease in our county and in the entire world at large. The next statement will come from the Freetown City Council. So our representative from our mayor, our worship, the mayor. Is there no representation? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Chair. We have the privilege now to call on resources. So he's not less impressive Dr. Kano. He's the Deputy Program Manager Surveillance for Human Health. Let us welcome him.
You are most welcome, sir. The next, the representative from FCC. You do have? Okay. Let's move on to the next speaker. Minister of Environment and Climate Change. Yeah. Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols observed, on behalf of the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, the Executive Chairman of the Environment Protection Agency and Board, Director of Forestry Division, I bring you greetings from them. It's an honor for me to be part of this celebration. As Dr. Abdul Qudus Jallow mentioned, this day is a very important day, and therefore we should all put our efforts together to celebrate this day once a year, 28th of September. It was not a mistake to include the environment in the One Health platform. The theme for this year, all for one, one health for all, is a clear justification, because environment is the universal host for all of these zoonotic diseases. And for a sustainable development, we need to have a safe environment in which humans and animals are also safe. I also want to toe the line of other former speakers who have emphasized on the 3 C's: communication, coordination, and collaboration. Because of this, the EPA Act clearly indicates these 3 C's as one of its core functions, because environmental issues are cross-cutting issues. Environmental issues are issues of everyone. So therefore, communication, collaboration, and coordination are very critical in solving rabies issues. I want to thank all those who have made efforts in one way or the other to fight against rabies. Because of communication is key, that's why our communication unit has been a core integral member of the RITS communication team of the One Health platform. We will contribute diligently on the awareness aspects of rabies, community engagement, radio discussions, etc. For us to succeed in the effective management and protection of the environment, all efforts are needed. We should all come together for us to have a safe environment. We ask the FAO representative
among their 4 best, and one of each is best environment. I also want to toe the line of somebody who made emphasis on the development of community bylaws, and also strengthening community for the development of community dog ownership policy. This is very, very key. And we also had Dr. Kudus made mention of 2 key legislations, draft legislations, which are also very important. So I want to toe the line by to appeal to put all efforts together to lobby so that this document is come to realization. On the issue of expired vaccines, I want to draw the attention of all that the following NDAs are very critical: the Sierra Leone Standards Bureau, the Sierra Leone Pharmacy Board, and the Sierra Leone Medical Supply Agency. These are critical agencies which I think we should bring on board to salvage this situation. So without much ado, I want to say thank you very much for witnessing this celebration.
Thank you very much, representative from the Ministry of Environment. We know everything is done in the environment. So all what is being discussed, deliberates, coordinates, all is within the environment. So that acknowledgement is being taken note here, and in other popularization, the environment for the Ministry of Environment, climate change will be part of it. Thank you very much for your brief statement. And now as the chair, I think because of the time, we have to, each speaker now will be given 5 minutes to make a statement. So I'm now calling on the next speaker. Statement from the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. Do we have this or no? No. Statement from the Ministry of Health. No? Somebody is here for the Yes. Yes, it's better.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think that's the best way for you to know that there's somebody here for the Ministry of Health. So, my sincere apologies for maybe not seeing the usual representation from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation in this very, very great occasion. Coincidentally or unfortunately, we had also another activity, was not designed, but we needed the presence of the Vice President and other people in the government. So the only day that was available for them was this day. We tried to see how we can sift things, but unfortunately we couldn't. So most of the Minister of Health heads, we are actually in that meeting. So we apologize coming late and then that small number. Notwithstanding, the World Rabies Day, from all the presenters, we have seen that it is very important, not only for the human health, but it is also very critical for the environment and then for the animal sector. When you look at the theme for this year, then it reminds us that fighting rabies is one way we can actually demonstrate how far we have strengthened our One Health platform. So for us to work towards eliminating rabies in 2030, then it requires the collective effort of not only the human health, but we require the animal sector and then the environment. And when we look at the presentation or those who are affected with rabies, I was going through the literature, so you can see that over 60,000 people are dying each year, and 40% of that mainly are children. And you can also see, for instance, when Dr. Kudus was giving the experience, and you see that children are more with their pets, and they normally suffer because of their defense mechanism might not be as strong as you and I. So that tells you that we need to work together and see how we can actually eliminate rabies. And for us to eliminate rabies, for those of us who know, you have to make sure that you have a mechanism for you to surveillance, for you to actually know where these cases are. So you cannot say you have eliminated when you don't have a robust and effective surveillance system to pick those cases and then do the necessary reporting. So in the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, we have a surveillance system that recognizes rabies as not only one of the priority diseases that we are surveillancing, but it is also one of the 6 zoonotic diseases that we prioritize as a country. So initially, we are not looking at rabies directly, so we are using a proxy when we surveillance dog bites, cats or so, because those are the sources. So for now, in collaboration with MAF, the veterinary laboratory, I think we have made progress in making sure that we also try to diagnose rabies within the country. So that's a huge step we have made as a country. And also over the past month or a year ago, for those of you who are following in the EPRRC meeting, there is this call for us to have vaccines for humans. So the unfortunate thing is the rabies vaccine is not one of the vaccines that are being supported by government. So that means that we have to find another mechanism by which we can have the human rabies vaccine. So we started small. We have some quantity of human rabies vaccines already within the ministry, and we are working together with the Pharmacy Board of Sierra Leone and also the EPI program to make sure that collectively we make the vaccines available so that we avoid people actually taking chances and then extorting money from people who normally suffer from dog bite. So I've just been signaled that my time is up, but on behalf of the ministry, we are committed in working together with the other One Health sectors in making sure that we eliminate rabies in Sierra Leone together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, from the Ministry of Health. It's better late than never, because we are talking here about health for all. That's the theme, health for all, animals and humans. And so many speakers have said so much here. They mentioned about somebody from the province that came to Freetown who was bitten by a dog, that went to the clinic where they should administer the treatment, but unfortunately there are others at the back that gave the wrong treatment. So it means there should be proper monitoring. Thank you very much for your contribution, because we cannot be talking about health, then we don't have somebody here to make a statement. Thank you very much. Now I call on the next speaker, the statement from Sierra Leone Red Cross, the head of the institution, is here. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am not the head of the institution. I am just heading one of the projects of the Red Cross Society. Thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you all. The Sierra Leone Red Cross Society, as we all know, has been playing auxiliary role to our government during disaster and emergency response. And for this World Rabies Day, we have been giving support to two districts, that's Cambia and that of Kailahun. And Madam Chair, please permit me to give you synopsis of help rendered to these two districts during this day. And of course, for Cambia in 2001, we supported the Ministry of Agriculture to vaccinate 76 dogs.
Thank you.
And in Kailahun, we vaccinated 58 dogs. And in 2022, for Cambia, we vaccinated 104 dogs and 6 cats. And for Kailahun, it was 88 dogs. And for 2023, we decided to take the campaign at Chibok level. And as I speak, our colleagues are now in Madina, Thongoliba, helping the Ministry of Agriculture to conduct a few vaccinations. And throughout last week, we have been doing campaign on rabies in our chiefdoms of operation. We are operating in 6 chiefdoms, 3 in Cambia and 3 in Kailahun. We have been doing rabies campaign, and we want to thank Breakthrough, because Breakthrough provided IEC materials for us, which we have been using. And we have been receiving so much issues about dog bites, especially in a village called Kamasasa. Dogs form groups and coming during night hours to chase goats and sheep. We have seen so many examples of these cases being reported again in a village called Kasi in South Chibok. So this is very much important to take note of. And Madam Chair, the Sierra Leone Red Cross Society, through the CPD project, is obliged to continue the vaccination come next week. But we want to ask FAO and together with our colleagues from the Ministry of Agriculture to please assist us with more vaccines. Because as I speak, what Cambia and Kailahun received, we already have 100 doses for Cambia and 100 for Kailahun, but we want to continue. Because my statistics from as of yesterday, we've registered 432 dogs for Cambia alone. And for Kailahun, we've registered 389 dogs. And we've already received 100 doses of vaccines for each of these districts. That tells you that we have more to do, because we have to vaccinate the dogs we have already registered. And I want to thank one executive because he had been coordinating the activities for the previous years in ensuring that human beings and animals live in a healthy environment. Without much ado, I want to extend our thanks and appreciation to USAID, because USAID has been providing funds on behalf of the people of Cambia and Kailao. Many speakers have delivered statements in the area of ensuring we have collaboration in order for us to tackle these deadly menace. I want to thank all and sundry and looking forward to see how best we could address our request. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the representative from the Sierra Leone Red Cross Society. We acknowledge your contribution in fighting this disease, and you made mention about presently you need support from the ministry and other partners. The vaccine has been, rightly from the FAO side, has been delivered to the ministry. And if you want those vaccines, I think you need to apply to the district agriculture office where your operation is. If you're operating in Kabbalah, you apply the district agriculture officer in Kabbalah. In Kambia, likewise, yeah? Because we are all in this fight. Thank you so much for your contribution. I will now call on the speaker, the representative from Office of the National Security to give his statements.
Sitting for quite a long time. Madam Chair, fellow dignitaries on the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I bring you greetings from the National Security Coordinator, who has asked me to represent him in this meeting. By way of my selection, I represent the department, I lead the department called Protective Security, VAPS, Vetting Protective Security of Office of National Security. It's been a very serious engagement, which I want to join our most elderly Dr. Jallo, who said that by the representation here today, he felt a little disappointed. And I want to join him on that because observing the various vulnerabilities that have already been cited by speakers on the high table, it's much considerate that we need to have given the kind of attention to this day in terms of making sure plans are put in place on how we've gone ahead in tackling rabies in this country. And like our boss normally say, come to the table and tell me what you've done, various institutional mandates, so that we see the kind of level of engagement at national level, at your point, as part of your contribution to national development. The rate of vulnerability of our children, looking at the population of Sierra Leone, much more youthful, it's so alarming. Like I have my little boy every day at home, seeing a dog would like to play around its mouth, and I would just draw my person, not play like box. You see, and all of these vulnerabilities we can see around. It is high time. The plans are so huge. Even when we talk of national instruments to be laid in Parliament, still some vulnerabilities are around that area. And I really want to call on the ministry, which is responsible in doing so, to make sure that these legal documents are laid and we have a kind of national engagement that will benefit from that. I don't think if the Ministry of Agriculture is being represented at our weekly meetings, which is National Security Council Coordinating Group, NSCCG. This is the steering committee of the Office of National Security, and as at large also for Sierra Leone advising the presidency on key national issues, especially like this. And if they are not represented, I want to bear this message to them that try for their representation, because short vulnerabilities would be key items on our agenda for discussion. On the side of sustainable development goals, with regards to animal population, which Dr. Jalov mentioned, I want to say my department is looking up to having a kind of community control mechanism in making sure we know the dog population and we can have a situation wherein the dogs will be used for our benefit in this country. He mentioned the fact that dogs are free securities in Sierra Leone, right? And it is true. But for us at Protective Security and Private Security Department, Directorate of the ONS, we've now been able to develop regulations for private security engagement in Sierra Leone. And some of the security services we've identified going forward is allowing dogs as security partners within the population. Many times, people want to register the use of dogs for security purposes. And if we handle that aspect well, we'll see how much we'll put our dogs into business in this country. It's just an eye-opener to this because people have already started sending in applications for use of dogs as security in their homes. But the question is, how much control do we have over these dogs? What is the kind of dog population we have in this country? So we are still looking at that situation in making sure we use dogs as proper security agents for our homes. Without wasting more time, I want to register this concern because this report really reached the National Security Coordinator, and also looking at possibilities wherein the Ministry of Agriculture have a representation at NSCC so that some of these critical issues are discussed for national development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Representative from the Office of the National Security. So we already know now that it's a security issue. We are talking here about rabies, health, prevention, environment, vaccines. Now we see the issue of security in there. So we should know how important this thing is. And also, I take cognizance about the ministry be part of that committee that we are talking of, because these are developmental issues. Security is very paramount to our development. Yeah, thank you so much. We have now the chief. How do we call it? The chief CVO, the chief veterinary officer. And the other one, who is it? Outgoing director of livestock is here to give a statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to take this opportunity on my behalf as a retired civil servant. So thank you very much for giving me the accolades to make a statement as an elderly statesman in this August gathering. It is quite evident that rabies has caused a lot of human deaths from the time it was discovered in Sierra Leone in 1949. It was in 1949 that we first registered rabies in Sierra Leone, and in 1951, TECOP lab confirmed rabies. So you can see that TECOP has been in existence even before independence. So that shows clearly how we are still working towards maintaining TECOP lab in Makini in 1971, 13 people died of rabies, and that same year, 4,700 dogs were vaccinated at that time. I'm giving you a short history of what has been happening. And then in 2018, 10 people died also of rabies in Sierra Leone. 2019, 10 also died again. CVL, they started confirming rabies cases now after the rebel incursion. In 2020, 9 cases were confirmed at CVL. 2021, 12, and 5 in 2022. Then for 2023, except for a few days now that I've not been really contacting them, I have on my record 7. And that has happened in Sierra Leone for the past years. And we know that a lot has been done. I want to applaud the One Health platform for collectively working together to address zoonotic diseases in the country. I want to recognize also the effort of FAO, Breakthrough Action, Red Cross, for the unflinching support they have accorded to the Ministry of Agriculture. The One Health family have an engagement of this nature which draws us to the theme of this year of World Rabies Day. We have done a lot, Mr. Chairman. A lot has been done to have vaccination coverage of, a lot has to be done, to have a vaccination coverage of 75% and to eradicate rabies in 2030. 7 more years to go. We have 7 more years to go to meet the deadline that is being set for 2030. This cannot be achieved single-handedly. We need to galvanize our efforts, speak the same language, since diseases have no boundaries. We work on the same page and then see that we really work towards eradicating this disease in 2030. It is very important to raise awareness of the consequences of human and animal rabies and how we can prevent it. We spoke about, a lot of people have talked about how we can work collectively to eradicate rabies in 2030. And Dr. Gudus also mentioned about the legal documents that we are supposed to work with. Those ones, we have presented them to the Well of Parliament. They have gone through cabinet, and now they are in the Well of Parliament waiting for their approval. That we have done. And I believe that the permanent secretary, the senior permanent secretary, is working assiduously on that to see that at least this new cabinet, parliament, will now give the stamp on it to really be enacted. I think there's not much I can talk again about what has happened because a lot of people have talked a lot. And if I still continue saying it, to just be repeating what they have said. I want to just take this opportunity to thank you very much for giving your time to this activity, because it is not an easy task really for people to leave their busy schedules to come for programs of this nature. We have many competing activities, and therefore people cannot really attend to. Much more people that we are expecting did not come to attend this gathering. But on the whole, we want to say thank you for those that have really made it up to come and see that we are all working together towards eradicating rabies in 2030. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our outgoing CVO. Thank you for your contribution. You said much has been done, much has been said. Saying it will be repetition. So we know that already. So what is left is the reflection for the day, because most of the things discussed here need to be reflected when we go back to our offices in order for us to strategize and put our plans for actions. Next on the agenda, we have an update of awareness campaign on the reduction of human exposure to dog bites, to rabies. Okay, that has been withheld. So we move on to the integrated surveillance.
Okay, thank you so much. I will not bother you with so many literature, just to show you how rabies destroy human. Like the speaker was saying, we all know that rabies starts from animal also, and Madam Chair was saying not to blame the dog, because the dog also is taking it from the wild, the domestic. So this is so far what we had 3 years back in Mombali. This is Sierra Leone. The person was beaten by a dog and later on started the treatment. You know what? One thing we need to emphasize on, the anti-rabies vaccine for human, the one that people are giving. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I think you can wait till we go down so we can see your presentation. Then we can come up again. Because the minister will speak.
Okay, thank you so much. So, like I was saying, the anti-rabies vaccine we have in the country, one thing we need to emphasize on, some people, when beaten by a dog, they will say, I'm going to take the vaccine. But normally what they are giving is a toxoid, not the vaccine. And they will normally tell them 50,000 or 100,000. That's not anti-rabies vaccine. Anti-rabies vaccine cost for human is higher than 100,000, even for the animals. So in some setting, you will hear 350, 400 for one shot, that the person needs to take 3 shots if the dog is known, and 4 shots if the dog is unknown, like a stray dog walking. So if you have an incident like this, he took the 50,000 shots. A week later, he started barking like a dog. We have similar case again at Fobe Road. The only guy child of a family of 60 years, the father is 60 years old, mother 60 years old, now the only picture that he gets. After the last shot, he again starts for barking the dog at the end of the day. That's not the last time he died, obviously. So let me just watch what will happen now other country, how Motorman the bad like dog. So when they see how the person in the back, when they hear the sound, in the back like a dog, this is the last stage. Nothing, no day for doing for. I mean, no do nothing. At this stage, anybody who a bet is scratch or speed palm, tendency for labor contact the same thing is greater. So when they put on at the bed, you see how the entire oxygen in the brain. So, but since we, the animal doctor, then, at this stage for animal, we able to put them down, we call it. But what man they allow, because it's in our God and everything for them, that human. But we, animal side, we able to put the animal down. Okay, so this is another, just for showing how dangerous it is. This is another video. Okay, this is Angola. So when I see young baby beaten by a dog, in back when they just wait no more for the last days then. Yes. You know easy. These are the healthcare giver. Instead they cry because they feel if na be hearing picking high for do. So yes, all these are patients in the hospital beaten by dogs. You know, when giving the statement, somebody mentioned say most of the dog bite cases na picking and they get not so because they more can play with the dogs like in dinner house or when they're off from school. So you see. Yes. Okay, so the video long, I just give you a short one there. Okay, this now how it manifests because most of the signs for human, you get the photophobia and agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is afraid water, where they get even dog. So motorman again are the same thing. When I look this now 48 years man, where you get this. So they get water for late drink for anything way to drink. You able to drink because when I just watch. Okay, so these are some of the videos then, just for showing how rabies is dangerous and how rabies work in human. You know, before this stage, what we need to do is responsible partnership. I like the word that Dr. Bruce was saying, because you can have a pet at home. If you are not taking care of that pet may be may pose a threat to the family members and those who are coming to the family. You need to vaccinate the dog. You need to treat the dog on a regular basis. So this is what you want and the message you want to people to know. Awareness raising. Rabies, if you tackle on the animal side, you may transfer to motorman at all. But if you don't tackle on the animal side, obviously motorman they are threat. No matter how you provide vaccine for human, if you don't provide the care for the animal where they key, because animal back on the other side of the road, maybe among you can take care of your own, but if you never don't take care of your own, the dog then interact, obviously you get forget the rabies. So we need this week, like the theme for this year, they say all for one, one health for all. Now the collaboration between the environment, the human and the animal health. If we don't collaborate, we're not going to tackle rabies. We they say for eliminate rabies by 2030. How we going to eliminate rabies by 2030 if we don't come together? So this is what we need to do. I continue my presentation why rabies is important. These are literatures. So just to show you what rabies is, the what, the who, the where, the why, and when. It's a day to a declaration and action where possible. Who, international and national animal health workers. So all these people need to come together so that we can have this what we are targeting by 2030 by eliminating this dog. So it is celebrated annually, September 28th. The objective of the World Rabies Day is to raise global awareness about rabies and to promote education in local community to control and prevent rabies. To mobilize and coordinate resources toward human rabies prevention and animal rabies control. These are the participants so far since the start of World Rabies Day celebration or commemoration. We have the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the WHO, the World Organization for Animal Health, the FAO, the World Veterinary Association, the World Society for Protection of Animals, the Pan-African Health Organization, Institute Pasteur, the Veterinary Without Border, the IFRC, and Breakthrough Action. So these are the partners that always support worldwide, not only Sierra Leone, the commemoration of World Rabies Day. These are the key factors, the players. So World Rabies Day for 2007 in other countries, this is how they were doing it. So quickly, I will give you an update about rabies in Sierra Leone, what our Center of Veterinary Laboratory so far have tested. We have in our midst our manager. So he shared the slide with me just to tell you what was tested by source, how many positive we have. Let me go this all. Okay, this is how samples are sent from district, from national to the Center of Veterinary Laboratory in terms of samples. So this, after analysis, so this is the table we have. Number of animal rabies cases tested at the CBL from 2020 to 2023. So far, they have submitted the positive cases from 2020 to 2023 is 28. and they have 9 negative. They rejected 3, so the total is 40. So out of 40, we have 28 positive. So we now know rabies is in Sierra Leone. We need to do something. And all these samples that are sent to the CVL, we always record dog bite first, and then the next thing that community will think about is to decapitate the head of the animal or to kill the animal at community level. So after killing, they will contact the CVL. Oh, we have 2 dog bite cases for this district, like Koinadugu and Kenema. They are the most frequent districts that report dog bite cases. So immediately when they send to the lab will first do the rapid test, positive, and then they do the PCR, positive. So it means the life of that person that was beaten is already condemned. So if that person go and buy this 50,000 vaccine, obviously the outcome will not be good. So we as a ministry, agriculture, so we normally have backup vaccine for our our workers, the front line. So what we do, we provide these vaccines that are meant for our frontline workers to sustain these people. We always contact FAO. They are supporting us in terms of human rabies vaccine for our workers and then the animal vaccine for the animals that we are vaccinating. So we do support, and all these 28, I think we supported many of them in terms of rabies vaccine, and they are okay, they are alive. All right, so this is the distribution map per district. We are seeing which among the districts report the most rabies cases here. We have Koinadugu, 8. Awisi, Kenema, 7. Bombali, 5. Tonkolili, 3. Western area, 2. Potloko, 1. Moyamba, 1. Kambia, 1. This is what they are reporting to us directly. But we have those cases that they are not reporting to our healthcare workers. So people may be dying in communities based on this, unknown to the Ministry of Health and unknown to the Ministry of Agri. So we need to, the awareness is not just at national level, but at district level. Thank God to Breakthrough and Red Cross, they are doing great role for us in the district where they are operating. For Red Cross, they are operating in Kambia and Kailaun. During the period of war in Israel, no. From January to December, Breakthrough Action, they are raising awareness for rabies in most of the districts, not just Western area.
And there are certain things that are really that are obstacles to the strengthening of the laboratory capacity, because we are getting support from FAO and the USAID and some other partners and providing the equipment. They are provided the structure, and they are also
collaborative meeting at the EOC, every week there must be more than 10, 15, 20 are they investigating the cases? As we all know from what the vet normally says, that human resource. That is one of the concerns that we are already raising at the Center of Veterinary Laboratory. The laboratory structure is there. We have so many units, that is really equipped for us to go ahead with testing and work. But how many persons are available in the lab? Only few, 3. I can say, including myself here. Then low flow of rabies due to the availability of sample referral system. There is no structure. I am saying this, I am putting emphasis on this one. We have partners, they have made a good number of our local partners are in the district supporting Gambia, supporting Kailang. But are we just supporting vaccination? You are hearing about dog bite incident. Can you please come on board and help the Ministry of Agriculture so that we'll be able to respond collaboratively, to the bite incidents that are happening within this district so that we can get number of samples coming, or you observe the dogs. I will be in that. Now, there are so many other challenges that you have already seen, which we believe without us getting a remedies to those challenges, the laboratory strength in capacity that was spoken by a colleague from WHO, I don't think if we can achieve that one. We need to really work, together to make sure we strengthen the laboratory capacity so that we'll be able to really detect, the incidents that are happening within our locality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, so much for the team for their presentation. That was very good, and we saw how rabies can affect humans. So it's not a matter of just come here to say, give all these speeches. We have seen how important we need to fight to eradicate it. And we have about 6 to 7 years left. So we need to work fast, we need to work hard and work fast for the elimination. And next on this auspiciable celebration, we will now call on the representative of the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security to give the keynote. I think we have to agree here, because there is another meeting they are calling the minister to attend. But I am the chair. You gave me the chair, so I need to decide. So I need to take my minister. It's okay. So let me go ahead, Mr. Minister. Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll try our best. Run as fast as we can. Yes. Of course, this is just key highlight of the rabies campaign breakthrough action is supporting in collaboration with the One Health risk communication and community engagement team. So our campaign objectives were to look at increasing the knowledge and improving the behavior change in relation to transmission of rabies, risks, referral and treatment, reporting pathways, prevention, reporting, and also care seeking. So we never did it alone. Breakthrough Action was working with a team of One Health that has to do with MHS, EPA, MAF, and also other partners. And this is just a quick background of how Breakthrough Action started. We started the support since 2019 with Pompali working with Red Cross. We walked through into Western area urban around 2022, and this year we extended to as far as Western area rural and also Moyamba districts. So this is just like was saying, Breakthrough Action supporting dog bite and rabies awareness 2019 since running down through to 2022, 2023 in all of those districts. And we look at the strategy. We actually adopted a strategy to ensure that we pass on key messages to the communities, and also in relation to ensuring that this rabies engagement across the communities and our stakeholders, the message goes down well. So go back. Sorry. Yeah. The first slide. Okay. So we look at day-to-day community engagement, wherein our mobilizers, we are engaging communities, door-to-door engagement, reaching out to people with key rabies messages, and also engagement with key community stakeholders, where we have trainings, we have meetings with them to ensure that they understand the purpose and the rationale behind the engagement. Yes. And we also look at adoption of 117 call center. We are at the back end, tracing and receiving some of those calls from the community in terms of concerns relating to rabies and dog bites. We also had capacity building, where we had training and orientations of mobilizers, community stakeholders, community health workers across those two districts for this particular 2023 engagement. And development and broadcasting of mass media. We also engage radios, TV stations, using TV programs, and also jingle, hearing of key rabies messages. And we collaborate with the CHWs or healthcare practitioners across the communities and the children's work. So we also look at the key target campaign audiences. We work not only with few, but almost every member of the community. We look at the religious leaders, the students, market women, petty traders. We look at the teachers, we look at the healthcare workers, farmers, stakeholders, and community members. So the campaign promoted key behaviors. What were those behaviors? We look at to prevent dog bite. It was one of our key focus. We want to ensure that, do not disturb dogs, which was one of the key messages we promoted, and take your time when passing or entering where dog lives. That was also promoted, and stay away from any dog that is acting strange, especially those stray dogs. And we also look at the second key behavior. If a dog bites you, what you're supposed to do? We look at wash the bite, or the area a dog bit, and then you can wash the bite with soap and water for about 20 or at least 15 minutes. And also go quickly to the hospital just in case you are bitten by a dog. Call 117 was also promoted behavior to ensure that we receive, or they receive support to take those victims to the nearest hospital, and report to the community animal health workers, and the communities without animal health workers, they can report to the cows. So we look at the key achievements. We are able to train and orientate 60 community drivers, including key stakeholders, 144 mobilizers. We oriented 172 healthcare workers, and also 40 journalists or media staff. So key achievement continues Like I said, we engage about 172 PHUs we work with to ensure that those messages are communicated. For the mass media, we reach about 2,593,125 individuals through our radio and jingles and TV programs. And we had 18 radio discussions in the process, hearing those key messages and promoting those behaviors. So for the key achievements, like I said, this is just a summary of what we actually gathered from our community engagement. So about 102,256 individuals we have reached across Moyamba and Western Ira, about 44% of males and 56% females. So you can see the breakdown by we visit PHU, outreach, school, and more reach was accounted under door-to-door engagement. So we learn key things during the engagement we want to share. Limited or lack of rabies vaccine, which came out from almost every discussion. We need to really take note into this because the engagement is there, the messages are going out, but people want to use the service, and at the end of the day, they are not probably available, most especially at community and district levels. And the program lands there were cases of dog bites reported. We had an example of 4 cases of dog bites that were reported during the campaign engagement. And also, communities established community bylaws where they put measures in place to ensure that, we control dog bites within those communities. And there was also a high turnout of individuals to vaccinate their pets during the previous engagement. This might go fast, God bless you. So, need for government and partners to provide sufficient rabies vaccine at a cheaper cost. This is very important, not only to provide the vaccine, but many could not afford, like my colleague was saying, to purchase those vaccines. So maybe the government can look into that as well. So we are able to gather key challenges, yes. So rabies reporting and access to treatment was a key challenge for the One Health team, and I believe the engagement is going on, but this has been one of the key challenge. And there was also an ongoing challenges in accessing effective treatment, especially for rabies, human rabies vaccines. So at community and district level, which is very much important. And limitation of funds to scale up the rabies campaign. We had a lot of calls, from districts. They want the same thing that is happening in Western area, urban, and Moyamba to be replicated into another district. So there are calls for partners to come in and support the government to come in and stretch forth hands so that other districts can benefit. So key recommendations. Mobilizers recommend to expand, like I said, the implementation into other districts, not just limited to those 2 districts. Like we had a statistic that was just presented. For example, Koenaluku might want to have or benefit from the same engagement. So the government should support the hospitals and community health centers with human rabies vaccine. Like I said, the access and the location of accessing those human rabies vaccine is very key. Not everybody has the opportunity to travel to Freetown and come and, have access to those vaccines. Yes. So reduce the cost of human rabies vaccine. This is also a plea from the community. Individuals, they are really asking for the government to think around this, how they can reduce the cost of those vaccines. And also, communities should continue to tackle the issue of street dogs, especially in Freetown. So, partners and the government, as we are hearing, let's put hands together and ensure that we continue to support the implementation, and of this rabies and dog bite campaign across the country. So these are just pictorial evidences of what has been going on so far. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation. The reward for hard work is more work. Because all what you have presented here, we have seen your efforts, the synergy, the communication, the community mobilization, the awareness. All these are good work. That's why I said the reward for hard work is more work. We need to work more. Now we have the comedian. Performance of professional comedians to further raise awareness. So we have the comedian to come and help us here raise the awareness. So let us sit back and see how it's gonna take place. Then also let me remind you also, in all what we are doing, we see the essence of security. Security comes in. So I think we need to include them in further discussions and PR systems. Yeah?
Vaccine. Until now, I don't say it. That's not the problem. Because I don't hear how these rapists, they destroy people. Even sent me until me 10 yesterday. He said, don't bet wine party begin. When the begin one died, that's why they back like dog. Oh my God. Well, this, it looks like say, I'll go see me doctor one day. I'll go see doctor one day. This doctor will go, this doctor. Now, doctor, the guy you are confused, I'm not speak quick. Now you have to go to school.
What's in the problem again?
I torment because waiting at the area about this rabies. Me until I just be on the come to me say me until tell me how dog bets when party begin then before he died and then back like dog. Oh, it's so painful. So I torment. So my last make I tell them say they take me dog and come go to you. They go get vaccine. But from where I send them, they encourage to you.
Relax. But it don't come to me. You know, seeing a person in joke with you, you make this injection for your dog. Bingo, I don't vaccinate her. As party come with her. You know? Because I know see it's very important for make sure say you vaccinate your animal. Because it not only will protect your animal, but it will also serve as safety for the community.
Okay. So people safe right now?
Very safe.
Oh, good.
Doctor.
Alaji Fulaman.
Doctor, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How the condition, how the situation? Doctor, wait, rabies. Na bad disease or not a bad disease?
Well, rabies is a very bad disease. Rabies na a virus, and you say it's a virus.
Nah.
This rabies na something where they transfer from animal to mortal man through spit, through the way the dog will bet you, single through where it scratch you.
Doctor, wait up. There will not get nobody like where them bet you don't. Not simple medication, not the why they put banana because we never picking. I get salt and pepper.
You don't put the business. The way for the London, that moment when the dog better, just make sure say for the moment of prostate sake, you make sure say you put water and tell the dog that you left and for the 15-20 minutes. Then from there, you can go direct to the hospital. If you not get way, you call the number the way and put the toll number for call the hospital.
I'm not here, I saw the God. Now make Mama do like make it last year because of the thing I want to take paper put that there. You know, I say woman no go sick. You know, Mojali, you know, we film Moweto. I hear about Dr. Kudu, see there?
I did. That one is the kind of patient we get, not from Mama Land. But on a very serious note, you know, now that you don't know, the best way for remedy dog bite is to make sure say they give the kid the baby's injection. You not go take all kind of injection because people in the will tell you, say, take this 50,000 injection because it's cheap.
Then I be in the door, be a back door. So laugh can take on because back door anything mortality na take on as far as we are. From till allow as I get problem, who's how they go?
You can straight to the Ministry of Agriculture or you call the toll number or you make sure so you go to Dr. Kudus.
But wait to fit Dr. Kudus. Fit Dr. Kudus now they wait till they happen. Doctor, I know Dr. Kudus. I didn't Kudus. You don't understand.
Stand the best veterinary in the country. We belong the Alpha Colors affect this business for make sure say the animal get protection and get welfare. Just like how many safe Dr. Ezekiel they go.
I saw Dr. Ezekiel or Dr. Kudus or who that the Kudus no Kudus or they are big. Don't make it picking. Get out of the hospital. I saw Dr.
Make sure say you not get under you prepare doctor business.
Maggie,
so we say Maggie, so you know they help at all. So I go hand you over for make yourself talk to, you know, the population on some of the things they will need for you. Thank you very much.
Really, when somebody gets in dog, I feel safe. I'm going to doctor. Kudus, but then I go and check time. Yes, because the babies are really bad. If he bets person, then at that time the way he bets the person don't get money.
But
so many people they always say when you get your dog, say I want to tell we friends them, we neighbors them. Say when I get their dog, then they take them now hospital, but then they go get vaccine. You see, maybe it's bad. Because now your auntie the bad talk so long, auntie waiting your auntie telling you. It's really bad. You see, it's like that's all if you get back like dog. Not a man for die. In the back like dog. Really.
Dangerous. When you see anything in a virus and something very dangerous. So we talk to people and say, make we work together as one. Make sure say we help ourselves for prevent this thing because that's something we know good in society. We know say the challenges them but to God if we come together as one, we will able to make sure say we put this disease now back. And so I know say from now to 2030 we will make sure say we eradicate rabies.
Kodong, when they call the government, let them interfere, let them make an any side where you go, any community where you go, let them go the partnership, the law where the parents rabies.
Doctor, what about the street dog there? Because the dog there now, Doctor put him to car. You go see them.
Well, let's tell them be small city council can inside for make sure say they capture some of them dog and they put them in a safer place. So we appeal to the Ministry of Environment, that of Agriculture, Health, and all the other supportive organizations, be it international or national, for make sure we work together so that we're able to eradicate or at least minimize this particular menace way the Abobo society from now to 2030.
Doctor, what be small, we see key to council and they get police when they give them right now, no day again. So when people happy that they may
all of city council for make sure they try for, right project them on that day. Make sure say we know say this is here, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the professionals. In the synopsis, we know what this means. That's how we will fight against this rabies for eliminating from now till 2030. and we don't see, it's a demonstration. So we understand exactly what rabies can cause and how for fight against her, and how for collaborate for fight against her. But that will be actual question if Dr. Budis know the way to happen. Ezekiel there. Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of FP. So you see, so where we fit out? Where we fit out? We all put the synergy together, follow fighter. So that we call on the honorable minister. Either you can talk about, or can you the keynote address? No put out for the honorable minister.
Thank you very much. I want to register the Honorable Minister's apology for not being here to deliver the keynote address. Likewise, the Permanent Secretary. You know correctly, Ministry of Agriculture is leading the President's agenda, the Feed Salon program, so a lot of things, activities are ongoing. So you can imagine how overwhelming the ministry is. Even as I sit, a lot of calls to attend other meetings, but this is also very important. I am going to deliver the Honorable Minister's keynote address. Esteemed partners, government officials from the One Health, MDAs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, I wish to register sincere thanks and appreciation to our esteemed partners for supporting the World Rabies Day celebration 2023 across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, rabies is a neglected tropical disease affecting humans and mammals globally. Rabies was first confirmed in the country in 1951, as mentioned by our outgoing director, at the veterinary laboratory in Teco, Makeni. Rabies vaccination campaign in the country started in 1954, where 151 dogs were vaccinated. In 1995, 300 dogs were vaccinated. Rabies control and prevention reached its peak in 1971, where 13 people died of rabies. In the same year, 4,700 dogs were vaccinated. Since 2010, a sporadic outbreak of rabies and several dog bite incidences among human population have been reported, and the dog population have been on the increase. Of course, you can see stray dogs all over the place in Freetown and other communities. In 2018, 1,354 dog bite cases were reported, resulting to 10 human deaths. And in 2019, the number of dog bite cases increased to 1,554, resulting into 10 human deaths. And in 2022, we had 1,301 dog bite cases reported, which results into 10 human deaths. Veterinary laboratory in Teco has been receiving these reports, but like we heard from the presenter, these are cases reported. So you can imagine, considering the situation, especially in the rural areas, how difficult it is for people to move from one place to the other, the number of unreported cases. So just the reported cases sends a signal for us to understand the gravity, the importance that we should give to the issue of rabies. Meanwhile, 10 cases in 2021 and 9 cases in 2022, and presently 5 cases in 2023 have been reported, confirmed.
the district with the confirmed cases between 2020 to date are Koinadugu, has been presented 9 cases showing the highest reported cases. Kenema, second, showing 7 cases reported. Bombali, 5 cases. Tonkolili, 3 cases. Western area, 2 cases. While Potloko, Cambia, and other places have shown 1 confirmed case each. This may not be a true reflection of what is really happening across the country, like I said, because we believe that most of the incidences have not been reported. For decades, rabies has been endemic in Sierra Leone, and many of our compatriots have succumbed to death as a result of this virus. As a call for concern, we have gathered here today using the One Health approach to collaborate this year and also to commemorate the World Rabies Day together so that we all can put hands on deck to address the issue of rabies. If you look at the theme, it says all for one, one health for all, which highlights that we all must collaborate so that we achieve one goal of eradicating the rabies virus in our societies, in our communities by 2030. This commemoration serves as an important opportunity to bring all of us together to deliberate and strengthen the synergy that we have been manifesting and to use all modalities and strength that is to our various disposal to make sure that we address this menace. I will not continue without commenting on some of the remarkable achievements made by the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in collaboration with its partners, especially the One Health platform, and also our financial partners. Some of the achievements include, in collaboration with the One Health platform, we've deployed a national, developed a national strategy for eradication of rabies and the enhancement of the dog population in Sierra Leone. That is to try as best as possible that we reduce the dog population, especially the stray dogs. The Ministry of Agriculture has also developed a robust animal health surveillance system for the country's early detection and reporting of suspected rabies cases. The ministry has developed capacity and capabilities to rapidly diagnose and confirm rabies at the veterinary center in Makeni, Teko. I want to applaud our partners, USAID, FAO, REDICID, World Bank, and all the others for their tremendous efforts and support they have provided in this fight. This is not the fight for only one entity, it is for all of us, because if one individual Sierra Leonean is affected, we are all affected. Rabies in animals is 100% preventable through vaccination. Therefore, the Ministry of Agriculture, with support from FAO and other partners, have over the years conducted national mass vaccination campaigns against rabies in cats, dogs, and other related animals. Thanks to the Breakthrough Action, we've just seen their presentation, we have realized the efforts they are putting in this fight. Thank you very much for all what you're doing. Sensitization is very key in this fight. I am happy that we have the professionals did for us a short skit. This is just for us to understand that rabies is deadly and what are the opportunities at our disposal that we can use so that we address or tackle the effect of the rabies by the infection of virus amongst our population. through projects supported by our partners, we've been able to equip the veterinary center in Makeni. However, despite all these supports, we still have challenges. Some of the challenges have to do with the cost that we prepared in our action plan for rabies eradication, which is embedded in the national strategy, has not been fully implemented as I speak. The main activities in the action plan includes dog population management, mass vaccination coverage to achieve 75% coverage, continuous sensitization of the public on the dangers of rabies, and continuous training of personnel on simple collection and transportation of to the Central Veterinary Laboratory for rabies testing. I am confident at this moment that this meeting, having had all what the other speakers have said, that we've learned a lot, we've gathered so much good practices and best practices that we can use in future so that we are able to address our collective goal in eradicating rabies by 2030. I wish to pledge the commitment of the government and the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, and to ensure that rabies is eradicated in Sierra Leone by 2030. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. The Minister has spoken, no comments. And thank you for helping me holding the chair. Now I hand over the mic to Mr. Dr. Leno. Dr. Leno. Amara Leno for the vote of that.
Thank you so much. Normally, Home Minister don't talk, nobody knows what to talk. So, with your permission, sir. Okay. So, thank you so much for attending this program. Our partners, Breakthrough Action, Red Cross, and other partners, the Food and Agriculture Organization for supporting the ministry with vaccines and all the gadgets that goes with the vaccines. So presently we have 2 people that are going around for the vaccination with support from Breakthrough. So the people are there, we give them this vaccine. So thank you for attending. I want to thank again the journalists. Sometimes it's easy, but in our whole day the video, they take dozens of photos and it for publish later. So I want to tell you, thank you, SLBC, AYB, and all the media houses when they come and witness this occasion. So I want to tell you, thank you for the other people, my colleagues from the Ministry of Agri, colleagues from the Ministry of Health, senior staff from MDAs. Thank you for attending this program. So today we close the curtain today. So we can just go out for the symbolic vaccination, and after the symbolic vaccination, the meeting over. Thank you so much. Look forward to hear after the symbolic vaccination. Thank you.